Hello friends, happy Tuesday to all of you. We are ready to get going here. Take Two Tuesday. It is Tuesday, July 2nd. We are full on into summer and I want to welcome you here. My name's Ken here at the Stamps of Life. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to get my streams and my chats going here for running here. So give me just a minute and we will get started. We are going to have a fun show today here on Take Two Tuesday. We are going to look at some items from our past. That's what we do here on Take Two Tuesday. We have a stencil, a fun stencil from 2022. And then we are going to take a look also at, let me fix some stuff here. Make sure I see you guys. Nope, I got to get that YouTube going. I'll get some shout outs here to all of you. We'll look at a stamp and die set combination and also a fold it. Later on in the show, we'll do our good news segment. I have a couple questions for you guys today before we get to that. In our good news, we are in Exodus 20 still, and we are on verse, what verse is it? 13. A tough one, you shall not murder. So we'll talk about that. Hopefully none of us have done that one, but Jesus added a little extra spin to it that is very important. So we'll spend some time looking at that towards the end of this video. Okay, so we're looking forward to having some fun. I have a short little video to share with you guys. Some fun facts. We like to do that. What else? I still have not got today's. I have the old Take Tuesday playing, but we don't want that. We want the new one, right? So let me find that real quick. And hopefully it will not play through. Let's see. Nope, still not. So what do I have to do? Go to my channel. And it should be playing there, I hope. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hang on. It is warm out here. It's been overcast up until about right now. The sun is poking through. And we'll probably be mid-80s here where the warehouse is. I was out where we do our big shipments. I was out yesterday packing and it was getting hot because it's just black top and it starts warming up. So yesterday I was sweating out there. Today I don't have any shipping to do. Got it all done yesterday, so I'm going to try to stay cool in here with you guys. I hope you can do that as well. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. Remember here on Take Two Tuesday, if you are new, let's see who's out there. Karen and Debbie. Hi, Sharon and Mary Jo. Cindy. Let's see if Facebook is running. Hi, Gail and Jennifer over there on Facebook. I thought I put a comment up on Facebook, but it didn't post. I didn't hit the post button. I said, hello, friends. So hello, everyone. I hope you are enjoying your summer. If you're on a break or vacation, awesome for you. If you're at home or work, do the best you can at your job. And then what else? At home, just enjoy the home life. We're blessed to have homes to live in, right? Our pastor was just talking about that on Sunday, that being in the United States, obviously we live in the best country in the world, but just to have a home, a place to live, is a blessing, and that a lot of people in this world do not have housing. And so that's something we can be thankful for. That just pops in my mind when I think about being around at home. Gail, I'm thinking the store day is going to be July 15th. That's a Monday. That is my plan right now. So if it were to change, I would post something, but that is the plan. The only challenge is that's also the day we are shipping out the Fold It Club. Not Fold It Club, the Card Kit Club. So I will have to bust that out super early in the morning and then get the store all ready to go. I'll probably have everything all prepped by next Monday. And then when I come in on the 15th, we'll just be able to open up. So let's see, Take Two Tuesday, we are looking at items from the past, from the Stamps of Life. Again, we have a die set and stamp set today, stencil, a folded die set. And a lot of you have these items already. I know I saw some of the comments last week where it was a reminder that when we went through these, some of you had forgotten that you had the dies, and I heard there were plans to break them back out and use them. And that's what we're trying to get you guys to do. Use the stash of Stamps of Life items that you already have. And always remembering that most of the old items can also be used with our new items. They can be combined together. So that is something Stephanie always wants you to be able to do. Mix and match the old with the new. A lot of the card bases, of course, you can add any of our stamps and dies to it. And so that's one fun way to use your old items. And then for you who are new to the Stamps of Life, some of these items will be brand new to you as well. Maybe you haven't seen them because they did come out anywhere from 2020 to 22. So if you haven't been around that long, let me put my little tag up here. Whoops, sorry. Let's see, where am I? Oh, I know what I gotta do. So these items could be new to you. So might be something you like. So this will be like brand new items for some of you, reviews, refreshers for some of the rest of you. So let's, without too much more chit chat, let's get started. Let's have some fun and see what we can create. And I have lots of fun ideas to share with you. Let's get rolling. Okay, oh, before we really officially get started, let me see if the flash sale is still going. I don't want to say if it is or if it's not. We started a flash sale, excuse me, yesterday morning. And yes, there are still some items on flash sale. So if you haven't seen the brand new items, if you are a club member, the Hermit crab stamps and dies are coming out to you. If you're in the Die Hard Club, if you're in the Stamp Club, you're going to get the stamp set for that. These are on the website. All the add-on items for you. I'll flip over that, open that page real quick before we get running here. So I will show you our main page here on the website. Flash sale items. There is still a bundle available. If you want to get the bundle, you get an extra discount. Let's switch over to that. These brand new items, they're awesome. We have the little toucan fold it. You see that there. And then here's a little combination, our dolphin from last month, along with the new hermit crabs. So those were shipped yesterday if you're in the club. The stamps and dies went out yesterday, but here on the website, you can see all of the items that are on flash. So there's the bundle. Stephanie made a extra discount. This die set right here is pretty expensive by itself. You see it would normally be $59.99. Well, in the bundle, Stephanie took it an extra $10 off. So you're getting a good deal on the bundle if you add everything together. If you buy this just by itself, you still get a good price, but it is $10 more than when it comes in the bundle. Then you see the toucans in there. We have the sea floor border die set and also a coral border die set. And there's the hermit crabs number 2 and hermit crab dies and hermit crab sayings. Those would all be those first 8 items are in that bundle. So you get 8 items. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not right. 3. I'm sorry, the bundle is not one of them. So 7 items. 7 items come in the bundle. And then if you're in the club, you're getting this one, the hermit crab stamp set. And if you're in the Die Hard Club, you're going to get the dies that match with it. Okay. If you are new to the Stamps of Life, all you have to do if you want to know information about the clubs, you just go up to the top of the page right there where it says join the club. Click on that and it'll show you all the information about our different clubs. A couple of my photos are not showing up here. I'm going to have to write a little note about that. Note, missing Die Hard photos. Sometimes websites do weird things, so I'll write a note and hopefully check on that. But anyway, all our clubs are there. Card Kit Club, Fold It Club, all that fun stuff, all right? Let's see, back over to me here. Again, awesome, the Hermits, Toucan, a couple of extra ideas there. Look forward to that. Everybody, all clubs in August are getting freebies. So don't forget that. If you're currently a club member, you have a freebie coming out with your shipments in August. So that will be fun, something extra to look forward to. And then if you're not in the club, you can get signed up now and you'll qualify also for those freebies. What else do we have? 4th of July is this Thursday, we will not have a crafting corner this Thursday. We're going to go ahead and celebrate the holiday with our family, Independence Day. I hope you'll be able to do that too. So we'll miss you this crafting corner, but we will be back the following week. We'll have No Makeup Monday again, and then I'll have my Take Two Tuesday next week, and then the crafting corner will be back on the 11th. So everybody enjoy your holiday. I know on Crafting Corner last week we did some fun facts about 4th of July, so I won't do any of those today, but if you want to know any of them, you can go back and watch that episode from last, I think it was last Thursday. Was that the 27th or somewhere around there? Anyhow, let's see. That's it. Let's get going. All right. Our first item we are going to look at is this fun Apple A2 folded die set. Now, we've done a lot of foldeds on here. This one, let me grab my slide over here before I forget. It's from August of 2021. This one came out. And I think it was only a Stamps of Life release. I don't believe it was ever on HSN. But you're going to get the main die. This will do the fold it, the outside here, and then we have an inside piece and a couple flowers, or not flowers, leaves and stem. Let's find it here on the website. And I have some nice samples to show you, and I'll show you real quick how to do that. I do have a, well, let's look at the website first, and then I'll get to my question for you. Okay, the Apple A2 folded. Let's move that on over. And you get, it's going to make an A2 size card. Does it say how many dies? 8 dies in this set. All right. So that is fun. And of course, you can just go basic. You can do pattern papers, solids. You can mix and match and do all kinds of fun stuff. Let's look at the samples. We'll scroll through there. So there's the dies you get. Again, many of you will have that. This is a fun one for a teacher. And then there's an example how you can mix it up a little and have a core look in there. And little extra decorations. That's probably, I don't know that stamp set. Basket 2 stamp, maybe something like that, I'm not sure. And a teacher, you got this, #1 teacher. And you are the apple of my eye. I meant to look up that sentiment to see where that came from. Or like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I was going to try to find those and I forgot. I just ran out of time. And there's one there with one of our little gnome characters. And a basic. And there you see an example of some pattern paper. They've used some plaid just to give a little decoration. And you got a bow up there. That looks nice. Simple. There's a fun one. I don't know how they did that. But there's an example of what you could do. You could really add some dimension. And back to the beginning there, okay? All right, so we have our dies. Let's see, before we move on, I have my question here. Where is it? Okay, if you, I think most of us like apples, right? I was looking on, the apple is, out of fruits that grow on trees, 50% of fruits are apples. And there's over 2,500 different kinds of apples. Is that amazing? I could probably name maybe 10 of them. But my question for you is, what is your favorite way to eat an apple? And I wrote down some samples here. Do you like apple pie? Do you like to eat a whole apple, or you just wash it off and take a bite? Or you like to have sliced apples? Or do you like to peel the apple and then slice it and eat it? Caramel apples, candy apples, do you like any of those? How about apple and stuffing? Does anybody do that one? And some people have apples on a salad. There's apple juice, and then my favorite, Apple Jacks. I don't know if that's really apples, but Apple Jack cereal, pretty good, right? I could eat that dry or with a little bit of milk on it. So what is your favorite way to eat an apple? And then I guess my other question would be, do you have a favorite kind of apple? I kind of like the Fuji apples or the Golden Delicious. What do you guys like? Oh, Apple Crisp, that's a good one. Upstairs, what was your holiday yesterday in Canada? Oh, yeah, that's right. You have Independence Day on the 1st, right? Upstairs hobby room. Yep. Well, Happy Independence Day to Canada. And we'll be celebrating here on the apple dumplings. That's a good one. Apple slices with peanut butter. So see, there was a lot that I didn't even think of. But my favorite, I don't know if you ever went to the to like a county fair. They'll take the apples and they slice them into nice little, it's usually green apple. And of course at the fair when I was really a kid, they did full caramel apples and candy apples. Those were good. But they will, at the fair, the ones that Stephanie and I really like are, they'll take the apple, slice it, and then they pour warm caramel all on top. This is in like a cup, and then some whipped cream on top. That's my favorite way to eat an apple. Of course, that is not the healthy way, but it tastes super good. Warm caramel on cold apples with whipped cream. Ah, so good. So that is my favorite way. What is your favorite way? Do you also, oh, applesauce. I forgot about that one too. Our boys, Miller, especially Miller, he loves applesauce. Liam, so-so. I'm trying to get them both to eat the peel, but there's something about it. Kids do not like to eat the peels of apples. But when I was reading the fun facts, it says that most of the nutrition is in the skin. So if you want to be healthy, you've got to eat the skin. I know it might be tough. You might not like it, but give it a try, right? I don't mind eating the skin. I know it's good for us. I don't know, it has the fiber or the vitamins or something like that. Okay, let's check out our card samples before we bring this over to the table here. We'll go to, I think that's all set up. And we might have seen some of these on the website already, but we'll take another look. Let's go through these. These are, again, with the fold-its, you have the option. You can have your fold be on the top. This one is on the top, so it will fold up for your recipient. And then you also have the option where you can have these fold on the side. So this one is on the side, and you can see how it will flip open that way. And we have a nice inside there. That's a very pretty card. And this one is using the inside pieces of the die set. I'll run that through and show you an example of how that works. That's another side. This would be great for a birthday, just some kind of summer fun, something you're doing. Even in fall, if you want to do fall cards. I don't know, apples kind of make me think of fall a little bit, summer and fall. All right, so those are the samples I have. Not a super lot, but again, this is back in August of 2021. Now we'll go over our facts for our apple fold it, or our real apples. Let me grab those. I do have a video I'm going to try to play, see if I can do this. Oh, let's see. I may not be able to do it. Oh, gosh, how can I do this? Let me see if I can figure this out. Oh, that won't work. Darn it. Okay, well, I had this fun video. It's like a time lapse. Let me see if I can get it started here. And we'll see if it has an... that's not the one I wanted. That is not even the one I wanted. What happened here? Let me check this one more time. Give me 1 second. If I can't find it, we'll move on. I do still have the facts, but I thought I had a nice video to go with this. And I was hoping to be able to play it in the background, but I don't think it's going to work. But I tried. Oh, let's see. No, not that one. Nope. Doggone it. Where are you, little apple video? That's not the one we wanted. No. Nope. All right, well, oh, here it is. I did find it. Okay, I'll switch you. So this is actually an apple growing. And I'll see if I can't figure out how to. It takes about 1.5 minutes. So let's see. I'll keep chatting while, and I'll give you some information about apples while we're doing this. Okay, that's playing. Whoops, better press pause again. So it shows the apple actually starting to bloom, and they start off as flowers. And I mean, I guess I should have realized that's true, but I didn't know that. So let's see if we can get that. And I will switch that over. So this is a time lapse. It's going to show you how the apple kind of grows really fast. And I'll try to get the sound on too. Not too loud though. Okay, here we go. On. Okay, you can kind of see the apple, the blooms there. Let me turn the sound down on this one. Hopefully you can hear me. So it's going kind of through the seasons. There were some blooms, and all of a sudden you see a little apple popping out there. And there it goes. Obviously I don't have this time to sit and watch an apple grow like this, but it's kind of fun to see how God makes these things grow from a tree like this. I did see some information where like if you have a dwarf apple tree, you might get apples within 3 to 4 years, something like that. I'm not sure how good they would be, but the big apple trees that grow really large, it's something more like a wait of like 9 to 10 years before they really start to grow and ripen until you get really good fruit. And again, there's this was one fun fact. So apples are super popular, but what do you think the most popular fruit is that is at least eaten in the United States? Excuse me. The number one fruit in the United States, you'd have to have a drum roll. Bananas. Can you believe that? Bananas are the number one fruit in the United States, and I think apples are second. So that kind of surprised me. Apples are number 2, but I don't even know if I would have guessed apples are number 2, but I would have guessed that I would not have guessed bananas were number 1. What do you guys think about that? Does that surprise you? It surprises me. Now, let me get rid of that video. We don't want to hear that anymore. I'm going to turn that off. And what happened to our guys? Yep. So that's pretty surprising about, yeah. Oh, your apple tree died, Grindelia. Oh, that is a bummer. I'm not good at growing any of these kind of things, so what can I say? I'm not much of a farmer. I think Stephanie has tried to grow, so I don't know if she talked about it on Take Two Tuesday. She was trying to grow some vegetables and fruit. And we did have this little blackberry bush tree plant that is just jamming awesome, but everything else is not doing so good. And we haven't even got to the point of summer where it gets really hot. So our little plants, they're not going to make it. And I imagine I would have the same kind of luck with a fruit tree like this. I just have never been able to grow anything really good. And then even if you get a lemon or an apple or something to produce from your tree, it's like, how do you get it to actually taste good? It's like they don't taste like the ones at the stores, the ones that are nice and sweet, or if they're supposed to be a little bit sour. It's hard to get that taste. I think it's something you have to farm at, work at, right, for a long time. Okay, so I showed you those. Let's go ahead and we're going to jump to our table, keep things moving here. I've got my workstation set up. We're going to grab the die out of this, and I'll show you how to cut the fold it, and we'll add on a couple pieces to the front. So you're just going to take your large die, this one here. It will say, it usually says right here, you can put your fold here on the top, or you can put your fold here on the side, and it'll tell you right there where you want your fold. The fold is on the cardstock. In order to make a fold it, you have to have cardstock that is folded in half. So that's what I did. I worked ahead here. Whoops. Sorry. Let me switch over to my real camera, my better mic. I think you could still hear me. Okay, that's my better mic. But anyhow, we have this die, and you have to have a fold on your cardstock. So I went ahead and I folded that ahead of time. And I want my fold to be on the top. Whoops. I'm really messing up. Sorry, everyone. Here we are. Okay, I'm going to go back. This is the die. It says right there on the top, place your fold here, place your fold there. I went ahead and I folded my cardstock ahead of time, okay? So we are lined up. See how the die has to come just a little bit over the edge of the fold on the cardstock? That's what's going to make it work and have that fold, okay? We're going to run that through the machine. I think you can hear me. Sorry, first I didn't have the mic or the camera switched. what I saw looked great. I switched over to camera 3, but I didn't switch it over so you could see it, so that doesn't really help. This station is called camera 3, and it also gets shared. I have a little adapter that allows me to switch between the computer and over here to my workstation, but I don't always hit the right buttons. But I think I've got it right now. So we're going to run this through, and yeah, that should be good. Now you're going to see when we do this fold, we end up with a little bit of a problem. If you are new to Fold It, you'll go, well, that doesn't seem to be right, but I'll show you how we fix that. Okay, whoops, little squeak. And that squeaking is just because I don't have my cutting plates lined up correctly. So that's why that happens. So here we go. I went ahead and I cut that, folded out, great. The problem is, look at that straight line at the top. That does not look like an apple, does it? So we got to cover that. And what we're going to do, we're going to take the same die again, and we're going to run it through the machine again. But this time, we don't have to fold our cardstock. All I have to do is place this die on top, and it will run right through. Now this time I'm going to try to make sure my platform, I've got my platform, then a cutting pad, cardstock, a die, and then my cutting pad on top. I'm going to try to do a little bit better job of lining up this time, so hopefully we don't get that squeaky noise. It looks like it's lined up good, so let's give it a try. And we'll run it through there. Sounds good. And we'll bring it back. And we're going to take that off of there. Now, this time I have a nice apple, no straight top. Well, how am I going to fix this one? This one has the straight. This is my folded. This is my base. I'm just going to take this and add it right to the top. So let's do that. Excuse me. I'm going to hang my die over here, get that out of the way, and my extra cardstock can go over there. We'll get a little adhesive on this. And of course, you'd want to decorate and make yours more pretty, but I'm just showing you how to do the base of the card here. All right, so there we have our Fold It. That is ready to go. And I'll show you, it comes also with this little inside die here, which will give us some decoration. And I'm just going to pick some random color. If you want to have a green inside of your apple, or a pink, or you could do anything. I have this type of yellow. And so we're going to, this will be decorative. This is going to cut it out. But if I just leave it like this, it's basically just going to emboss the paper. We don't want that. We want this to cut out also. So what I have to do is take this die and place it around it. And this should give us a nice shape. Let's see what happens here. Got my one. Where's my other? Put my other cutting pad on the floor so I can grab that. And I will run that through. And go about halfway through and bring it back, just to make it easier to pick up out of there. All right, let's see how this turned out. I did not cut this yesterday, so I'm not exactly sure. So I get all these little dots and flick all those out. They'll come out pretty easy if you have one of those little roller tools, which I do. Let's see if that helps. That speeds things up a little bit. I can get all those little extra pieces out. And this, just give it, if you have a nice pattern paper, it might be kind of fun to add this to your apple. You can do whatever you like. I mean, you can make an apple just like they naturally look like, or you can just make a fun, crazy apple, however you want. Maybe your friend or family member has a particular color that they really like, and you could add that color to your apple. It's all up to you, right? There's no right way or wrong way. You get to do whatever you want. So I have this that will go right on there. I'm going to go ahead and add a little adhesive on this. I don't want it to get on my machine. This is something you could use adhesive paper for, but I don't think you have to. This will work okay. And you're just going to add that on there. great. And you see how some of the adhesive's coming through, so it's making it a little shiny there. But you could add your sentiment on top. You could add some leaves. Like you said, we saw one with the bow. You can add some little characters to the front of the apple, all kinds of fun stuff. So that is really super easy, all right? The Apple Fold It die set from the Stamps of Life. Fun one. If you have that one, this is a good time of the year to use it. Hope you will. And check out those samples on the website. We're going to turn that one on. Great. So I hope you guys like that. The Stamps of Life Apple A2 Fold It die set. We made our own little apple here real quick. You can see how easy that was and fun, right? Super easy. Good. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Next up, we have this. Whoop, I didn't show you these to you guys earlier, but for the hermit crab, I did have the stamp set right there. I don't know how many stamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got to be around 10 stamps on that one. If you're in the Die Hard Club, you're going to get those dies. And it comes with a postcard. If you're in the Die Hard Club or Stamp Club, you're going to get the nice postcard. Gives you a couple card ideas on there and shows you the add-ons as well. I missed that. So next up is the large stencil. If you are into stencils, awesome. If you're not familiar with them, this little demo might be something that interests you. So let's grab that information over there. Not torty, circle. There we go. This is from July of 2022. So just about 2 years ago, this made it onto the Stamps of Life website. Yesterday I was playing around and I just did my own little stencil just for fun. And as I was playing with it, I learned a little, and it was kind of trial and error for me. I haven't done a lot of work with stencils, but to give you an idea what you can do. And then let's go ahead and grab our website information here on this one. I think everything is running okay still. Good, good. Hi, Serenity over there. I hope you can see me now. Serenity, I see that. That was a few minutes ago, right, when I goofed up. Let's see. Serenity's over there. Ellen, Linda. Hi, everyone on Facebook. Apple Pizza Serenity said, wow, that is interesting. I have not heard of that one before, but I've had pineapple on pizza, and that surprised me. It was good. So let's check out where I was headed over here for our stencil, and we're going to switch that. All right, there we go. This is our large circle stencil from July of 2022. And I have a couple fun samples to show with you. Kind of gives, that could be like a kind of bubbly underwater look. Party, I think I have that card here. That's a nice one. There's kind of underwater again. And happy anniversary. Here's a fun background to our, that is our, I think our ice cream truck to stamp, die set, and stamp set. And you could use it on a tag. So different ideas, different ways you can use that. If you took the Wonderful Windmill class, this stencil was already in that kit. So you might have it. If you took the Wonderful Windmill class with us, that was probably 2 or 3 years ago, you might have this stencil. If you don't have this stencil, it is available on the website. It's a good price too. What is it? $6.99 regular. And if you're Gold Club, it goes all the way down to $5.59. So let's take a look at these samples that I have. I've got a few of them. I think I have 3 here, and I'll show you these over on our little station. Number 2. Okay, there's with the llama, and it says party like a rock star. And that must, those little sunglasses must be from our sunglasses to stamp and die set. We looked at those about a month ago, I believe. That's a fun idea. And then we can also have another type of underwater theme here. These guys are from, it looks like these are probably cutouts from one of our card kits. That's my guess. I can't, it might say on the back. Nope, it doesn't tell us. So it's using our rounded A2 card front, or A2 card base, and then the stencil, and it's got some guys that are probably from a paper pad. And then we have a happy anniversary, which is, this is nice and bright. This is a fun one. And then I will show you how, at least to get to this point. You'll see my effort yesterday was not perfect, but I'll show you some of the things that will help me and help you hopefully to get it right when you do use a stencil. One of the important things I found is I was using a little bit of washi tape, but you want to use quite a bit to make sure that it stays in place. So let's give that a try. Let me make sure I get my switch over here. I'm going to switch over and we're going to go to our little work area, so hang on. Okay, I think we're looking good there. I see there's some sound, and we're over to our workstation. Now, this is not ideal to be working on top of your die cutting machine, but just because I'm somewhat limited on space, I'm here in this little tiny room, and the room's fine, but I don't have much table space. I have all over this way. I have lots of computer stuff, all the streaming equipment. Over here, I have my machine, and there's ink pads and little tools here and there to help me out. Let's see, how did I lose? I'm going to use these little sponges. If you search sponges on the Stamps of Life, these will come up. I lost one. I have no idea how I could have lost one, but there were 3 of them here. Oh, here's the third one. Wasn't far away. So I've got these 3 different colors I'm going to use. These are the ones I tried to use yesterday. And we're going to use that stencil, which looks like this. All right, so this is our stencil. And we can pick out, just so we can make sure that everything shows up and is nice and visible, we're going to use white. And that will help our color stand out a little bit. And I'm going to kind of eyeball this a little. Now, I didn't do this yesterday, but just to give us an idea of, this is a card front. So if I were to lay that over, it gives me an idea of how much of this stencil is actually going to show up. And again, I didn't measure this or take the time to do this yesterday. I was just coloring and seeing what would happen with the sponges. So let's give it a try today. The important thing is you want to make sure this stencil really stays in place. Now, yesterday I used just some I was trying to get away with just using little tiny pieces of the washi tape, but today I'm going to make sure I put a good amount. So I have a little bit larger piece of the washi tape just to hold it in place so it doesn't move. All right, we don't want it to move. I'm going to add 1 piece down there, and I will also add 1 piece here at the top. So that should keep it pretty secure as long as I don't go too crazy. I'll move this over just a little bit so you can see a little bit better, hopefully. All right, there we have our stencil. And to give us an idea, when we run it through the die machine, it's going to cut out about that much, okay? Let's get a couple different colors going here. I'll just do, let's do like 2 colors. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3. And I'm just going to ink it up here. And I always notice that the first is a little bit darker. And if we wanted this to remain a little bit light, we might just kind of tap that off to over here at the beginning. And I'm just pressing lightly and just kind of go over that. Kind of give us like a sky look if we wanted it to be sky. Yesterday, it turned out that I had this blue on the top, and it kind of did look like sky at the top of the stencil, and I had some grass in between and another color down here at the bottom. We got our blue there. And again, this is super easy to do and something you can just learn by playing around with and testing it. So you can see, like, if we got it, it's a little bit darker here. It'll look good in the end, but if you'll have to practice probably to learn how to make things a little more uniform if you want it to look like that way. I've seen some of the cards where there are darker spots and lighter spots. It usually looks good. Next, I will get our grape ink. That first color I used was blueberry, if you want to know. And I'm going to go ahead and get some ink on here, and it'll be again a little bit darker when I start off. So I'm just going to go kind of right here in the middle with some grape. And it looks like I need a little more ink on that one. And I'm just rubbing that over the stencil. And we'll do one more color, which will be I think kiwi is our next one. And again, now yesterday, because I didn't have a lot of washi tape on, this slid. And so some of my bottom section was a little bit off because the stencil moved. After it moved, I tried to line it back up, but I just couldn't get it quite right. So that would be my one tip. Make sure you have your stencil really holding in place there, okay? And our last color, we're going to use this kiwi. And I was using this yesterday. Whoops, I've got one of my little dots here from that apple card we just made. Some ink on there. Go ahead and see it's a little bit darker when we start over here. So we're going to get some of that ink off. And then we're just going to lightly kind of, see, I still hit a spot here where I got extra ink. So that will take a little bit of practice. But again, it's not the end of the world. You can kind of smooth it out. If you want to make the rest of them a little bit darker, you could do that. It's just kind of up to you. All right, so we've got that. Easy so far, right? Just use our sponges with our ink pads. Chose 3 different colors here. I'm going to go ahead and take the stencil off. And we're going to put, this would be the A2 card for a card front. This will be the card front. This is not the A2 card exactly, but this is the, how would I describe it? The card front part. So we'll add this to our A2 card after we run it through here. Now, if you wanted to be careful, here's another spot you could put washi tape. For the sake of time, I'm just going to run it through just how it is. Washi tape would make sure the die holds in place and it doesn't move in a direction you don't want it to. I don't think it would be too big of a deal in this case because it's just random circles. We're not really trying to maintain any certain pattern on the card front. So it should be fine. All right, I'm going to grab that out of there. And again, we have tons of stencils. So if you like this one, we have it. If there's something, other design you're looking for, just go on the website, type in stencils. You're going to get a ton of samples. So there is the front that I have created. Nice, pretty designs, right? And you could decorate it with some characters, some sentiments. Very easy. Let's put it onto a card front. Let's try something different. So I have this probably ocean, I think, cardstock, possibly. Ocean or sea glass, but I kind of think it's ocean. Let's run this through, and we're going to take, now we're going to get, this is the one you always want to have. If you don't have one of these yet, this will make an A2 size card base. If you do not have this, we have this basic one on our website. We also have it where it comes with some extra add-ons. Let me see if I have the one I can show you that I'm using right now. No, I don't have the packaging for it. It was here before, but where did that go? Oh, here it is. So this one is on the Stamps of Life website. This is an A2, and it has some extra dies that can go in on the inside. But you don't have to use these if you don't want. You can mix and match, and you can just use it as a basic. We also have, which is super popular, is just called the A2 Basic card die set. A2 cards are kind of the standard size. So what this die is going to do, it's going to cut the card out for you. It's going to give you a score line. You don't have to measure or do anything. You just run this through. It's going to create your card base. You're good to go. Now, in order to avoid some speed bumps, we want to turn that at just a little bit of an angle there. And let's run that through. All right, that's going through good. We'll run it all the way through the machine this time. Whoop. Almost. Sorry about that squeaking. The end of my platform was a little bit off, so I apologize. All right, there I have my card base. Let me show you how that works. It's all good to go, ready, set. That's A2 size. You just fold it up, and you're ready to go. Now, that stencil that we had made, I can just take that. We're not going to work on that. Our stamping pad, we definitely don't want to get adhesive on that. I'm going to add some adhesive to this. The back of this stencil that we had cut, and I can just take that, and we kind of want it, if we want sky, we want that to be at the top. There you go. So you can have any kind of stencil you like right there on the top. Got your frame in a different color. You can coordinate your card base to match one of the colors on your stencil. Your card's ready to go. You can add sentiments there. You can add your finishing personalized stamp there. So easy, right? So if you like that, stencils are super fun. I've only been working with this for yesterday and today, and I got this far right away. So if you play around with it, you're going to be able to come up with some really beautiful ideas, such as see, look at how great these are. What does our designer have there? 6 different colors. Orange, pink, a purple, probably an ocean, and maybe kiwi over there. That's really nice. Just a couple shades of colors on that one. And here you have your different layers. So we're starting at this point, but you can definitely get to this really, really easy, right? We can do it. All right. So that is our large circle stencil from the Stamps of Life. I hope that you like that. And we have one more item to go here. Our next item is, and actually it's a dual, Best Buds, clear stamps, and dies. So my question for you on this one would be, when you start, do you have a person in your life that you consider as kind of your best bud, your best friend? Do you have a best friend? And I kind of think, I mean, to me, Stephanie is definitely my best friend. That being said, I think we should probably, it's good for us to also have other friends that are outside of just whoever we're married to. So I hope if you're married that your husband or wife is someone you might consider your best friend. I do have friends from, I don't have any friends like going back to high school or anything like that, but I do have friends from my UPS days, a lot of friends from UPS. So my question again for you, do you have someone you consider to be your best friend? I'm not sure. I see, Shelby, that you're asking, was that a square? The A2 card is not a square. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I think. I'm not positive on that, but it's an A2 size card. If you Google like A2 card, it'll give you the dimensions. And if you go on our website, you will be able to see the size of an A2 card. It gives the actual dimensions. Let me see. I don't think I have that on here. Maybe the Apple show. Yeah, an A2 size card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's not quite a square. It's a little bit rectangular. So best friends, do you have a best friend? Someone you consider to be a best friend? I think if the next question was, if you have a best friend, how long have you been friends for? Because that was making me think back, high school, I don't have friends from high school anymore, just because we all move apart and do different things in life. The people that I worked with at UPS, I still do see some of them. Some of the people who we have worked with in this industry have become friends. So I don't have a super lot of friends. I know the Bible says that if you want to have friends, you got to be friendly. So if I don't have a lot of friends, then I just got to look in the mirror myself, right? I have to try to make time to be friendly and invite people to do things together. It's really pretty simple. And it's good to have friends. We don't want to one day just end up being all alone. That's no fun, right? So let me see your responses. Do you guys have friends? Jo says she has 2 besties, and a girl and a husband. They're best friends. Great. Sherry says she's got a bestie from work. Awesome. And they do stuff outside. Yep. Margie, I think we're going to be opening the store on, again, July 15th, which is a Monday. A couple weeks away. Wow. Sylvie says she has a friend since 5th grade? 5th grade or 6th grade? Wow, that was a long time. Janet's got a best friend for over 30 years. Great. So it is nice to have friends like that. People who will stick together with you, right? That you can count on. In this world, it seems like there's not a lot of people we can count on, right? So if you have a good friend like that, awesome for you. All right, Best Buds. This is the die set. This is the stamp set. I'll show you on the website. Whoops, nope, wrong way. This one. This is from June of 2020. We're going back a little bit, 4 years in time on this one. And I have a few samples to show you that are kind of neat. Let's go ahead and jump over to our website page. And I'll switch that. And we'll cut on over there. Okay, great. There we are. Best Buds. Again, from January 2020. You might have this. You might have forgotten you had this. Let me show you the samples here on the website. Fun, fun, fun. Best Buds. Yes. Forever. Born together. Friends forever. So it could be for kids. It could be for adults. Works out great. Oh, there's one on a... is that a trip? I forget the name of that card base. Darn it. Z-fold. I think that's a Z-fold base. So you see how much extra room you get on the Z-fold dies. That's fun. And our stamp set, let's take a look at the dies real quick. Might be the same samples, but we'll take a peek over there. On the die set, oh, I didn't see how many. The dies, you get 5 dies. Oh, and I do see at least one different sample. That's a fun way to do it. Designers just basically taken one color and done a little bit of shading. This is probably our stamps and dies from Picnic to Stamp. And I think all the other samples we saw. Let's go back to the stamp set real quick. Best Buds, you get 8 stamps on that stamp set. Remember, our stamps are made in the USA. They're going to be super nice, super high quality. You're really going to get great impressions from our stamps. You'll like them a lot. These two coordinate together. You could, of course, use the stamps just by themselves, or you can use them in coordination with the dies, all right? And the dies you can kind of use by themselves as well. So you have some options with this one. Let me show you the samples I have. These might be the same ones we saw on the website, but again, they look a little, I think they always look a little more interesting when we actually have them in person. Though you are not here in person with me, let's see if I can fix that a little. Whoop, no, wrong way, Ken. That's pretty straight, right? Okay, let's scoot that back. So it's kind of fun to see everything in person. And another sample here. And this one is actually like a die to make this background, but we do have a stencil that will also kind of give you that look too. So that's an option if you're thinking stencils. This is actually the die, but you can do this with the stencil as well. Here we've got our little Best Bud bears, and we've added some pattern paper, probably from a Stamps of Life paper pad. And here's some cute little guys. Again, mixing and matching. Lots of different ways you can work with this one. It could be for your friend. It could be for some little kids. You know, easy, easy fun. Let me show you what we can do with this one real quick. I have cut out a die from yesterday, and I'll cut out one here today. I cut out this little guy. I chose like a brown color. And I did do, you can get the shadow, or you can also have the cutout. Now, if you have a lighter color, you'll be able to color him a little bit. With this darker color, you'd probably have to paper piece him, right? Let's see if I can pick that up. Whoa, no, it's getting me, but not our paper. Okay. Anyway, there's our two little guys. And I'll run them through the die cut machine here real quick. Switch that over there. I think you can hear me and see me. Great. Okay, there's our dies. And we'll pick a lighter, excuse me, a lighter color this time. So say I want to have like some golden bears, kind of like Winnie the Pooh color or something like that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Winnie the Pooh on here, but that's what it makes me think of. So I'm going to take a couple dies here. Get all this out of the way. I'm kind of making a mess, so I've got to give myself a little bit of working space. And we'll just cut this one guy out here at the top. Grab the dies out of there. You could stamp ahead of time and line the dies up. Like if you were to stamp on here, you could line this up right over there to cut your little guy out, your bear. Or you could also die cut first and then stamp. Whatever. There's no right way to really do that. It's up to you. Okay. Let's go ahead and run that through. Let me fix something over here real quick. That I kind of had this goofed up. So give me 1 second. I try to keep the extra light. We have light from our front door here at the store, and sometimes that light comes through. It can throw the cameras off a little bit. Okay, so I've got that. I'm trying to make sure my plates are lined up so I don't get that crazy squeaky noise. And we're just going to run that through. We don't have to go very far because these are just smaller dies. Bring them back through. And I will have my shadow. There's the shadow. And there is our little bear. And you can see how the pieces are just kind of barely hanging on there. So you could paper piece this with a different color. Let me give you an idea. So here I had cut the darker colors before. I could layer this little guy right on top of here. And get that little chat out. So that's fun. One fun way to do it. Pretty simple, right? I don't even think you really need to color him that much. You could decorate him a little bit, give him a bow or maybe a little baseball or something like that holding. So that is one fun option. Now, when it's lighter like this, you have the option. You'll be able to add some coloring, right? Now, when you get to a darker bear like this, you're not really going to be able to color him. So that's one thing you want to think about ahead of time is what will I be able to do with this little guy? So there's an option where he has a lighter shadow and a darker color. And again, you could add some flowers in his hands. There's ways to decorate it without really inking and coloring him, but something you want to think about. You can do the shadow, you can do the die. You could paper piece these guys so you could have like a brown bear for his bottom, for his tummy and his legs, and add the head to be like a lighter color. So you could pick any different colors you like. There's different shades of brown that we have, black, all kinds of options with that. All right, so that's our best buds. Again, I bet a lot of you have it. It's probably in your stash somewhere. It could be at the bottom of your closet or that one drawer you never look at. So make sure you check it out. See if you have it. It would be a fun one to use. Lots of different occasions. If you're new to the Stamps of Life, this is available on our website. And that is it for our demo of our items today. If you have a Bible with you, we want to go to, this is our good news section now. We want to go to Exodus chapter 20. We've been going through the 10 Commandments. A reminder for you and for me, all of us, that God set out the 10 Commandments not so that we could try to keep them, because none of us can, right? We've discussed that a few times here, that none of us has the ability to be good enough to meet these standards that God has set. That's why we need Jesus, right? By placing our faith and trust in him, that is our way to have a relationship with God. And though we have failures and things that might separate us from God, because of Jesus, there was a gap between us and God before. Jesus bridges that gap. So we can come into relationship with God. He will speak to us. We can interact with him. We can hear from him, and he will guide us and direct us. And in the end, we will end up with him in heaven for all of eternity. So it is a real blessing to follow Jesus. If you haven't thought about doing that yet, maybe it's something you want to consider, to put Jesus first in your life and just say, Lord, I want you to come into my life, and I'm going to trust my life to you, and I'm going to follow you to the best of my ability, but I need your help. And that is really what we're doing. We're coming into relationship with God where we realize we need his help. And this is for every one of us. There's every single person. That's important today when we kind of discuss this, that God loves every single person. Let me switch this over. I'm going to pull up our verse here. You shall not murder. And again, this is pretty basic, right? Exodus 20, verse 13. I bet like 99.9999% of us would agree this is one we should all follow, right? So Exodus 20:13, you shall not murder. So we all have the idea that, I would say, I would never do that. I know that's not right. Or, you know, I've never done that to anybody. How could I ever miss this commandment? Well, we're going to read what, let's turn that off. We're going to read what Jesus said about this, okay? So let's find out what Jesus... Now, if we started out in Exodus 20, but now we want to go to Matthew chapter 5. And let me switch that on there. Whoops, not that one. Sorry, guys. Matthew chapter 5. And this is from the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus is teaching his disciples. I'm using my Bible app today. Sometime I use my regular Bible. I was at a men's group earlier this morning, and we all had our Bibles out. We were going through Revelation. But right now I have my Bible app. It's the U version. If you have a phone or an iPad, you can get this for free. And it has a ton of different versions. We're reading from the New King James Version. One thing I did want to mention is that in some versions, I think the King James, which is kind of like the older English, it says, you shall not kill. But I was looking for notes on this and information, and most of the translators agree it should read as, you shall not murder. Of course, would we want to kill somebody? No, but if this is the instances where you might have to defend yourself, you might have to protect your family. A government has the God-given, I'm not going to say right, but the legal authority to have capital punishment. Military, we have a military to protect us from forces that would want to harm. So there are times when to kill would be permissible. Of course, that's not our first or best option, but we got to protect ourselves. We got to defend ourselves. And at times we have to also defend against evil forces, right? So the basic translation here, though, is, I think, murder. And of course, again, we said that's not right. That's not good. But what did Jesus say? Let me find that in my book, my Bible here. I'm going to look up Matthew chapter 5. And Jesus adds a little more information to this, which is really, really important. So we think of murder, the physical part, right? Of course, to harm somebody or take somebody's life, especially murder is kind of like a premeditated thing, something we had planned or thought about. But Jesus adds a little extra spin here. Let me make sure I have my right verse. I'm in Matthew 5, starting at verse 21. So I got to scroll down a little bit. And verse 21, it says, Jesus says, you have heard that it was said that to the people long ago. So first off, he's quoting the Old Testament. So he's saying this is right. But he said they had heard, he says, you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. In the Old Testament, and even through New Testament times, if you murdered somebody, there was capital punishment. So if you were to take someone else's life, your life could be taken. That was God. That's the way God set things up, okay? It says, but Jesus said, but I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, that's kind of like, hey, you crazy guy, is answerable to the court. And anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell. So Jesus is kind of moving on and saying that murder is not just the physical aspect, but it also has to do with anger. And so I might be angry with somebody. I might be thinking of evil thoughts towards them. I might want to harm them. I might want to get back at them. And maybe I don't ever act out on these things. But Jesus says that even if I'm angry, if I have this inside of me, there's something wrong. And that puts me in violation of God's rule, because the end result is usually when we have this anger or bitterness towards other people, it causes us to resent them. It might cause us to speak evil of them or ill of them, or we might wish bad things for them. These are not things that God would want us to do. So it really starts to become, murder is not just the outward issue, but an issue of the heart. And God is really concerned about the heart. And so when we expresses anger or disappointment with somebody else and we share it with other people, in a way, as we're speaking poorly about them, we are causing other people to have a different view about them. And it doesn't say that it's murdering them physically, but in God, the way God measures things is that's what we're doing. And so we got to be super careful about this, right? And so my first thought would be, you know, when I was thinking about this, and I was listening to a real good teaching on this yesterday, that God loves every single person, right? Even the person who has hurt us or wronged us. We know they failed, they've upset us, maybe they've really messed up our lives, but you know what? God still loves that person. And that person is super important to God. And so here I am, I'm all down on that person, and yet God loves that person that hurt me or harmed me. Maybe I'm the person who hurt someone else or harmed someone, and now maybe the people I have hurt, they're talking bad about me. Well, you know what? God still loves me, right? God still forgives me my sins, my wrongs, no matter how many. I mean, I don't want to keep repeating the same sins over and over and keep causing people problems, right? I don't want to do those things, but the relationship that God has is like, we could blow it so many times and mess up so many times, and God wants us to be back in his family. He's going to keep loving us. So the people who wrong me, who wrong you, how are we going to look at them? We have to look at them the same way that God sees them. And it goes on in this, he says, Jesus says, therefore, so like you're going to, it says, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you. So you're in an argument, a disagreement with somebody, you're angry at somebody. It says, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift. So to me, it sounds like even if we have that anger, that bitterness towards somebody else, it's going to cause our relationship with God to be affected, to where maybe you want to go to church, maybe you want to sing, maybe you want to give offerings to God, and that's all good. But God says, you got to clear this up before that. So if we have that anger, that bitterness in our own hearts, we got to figure out how are we going to get rid of that and allow God's Spirit to fill us so that we have the love for people who have even hurt us. I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. And that's why, as we talked about here at the beginning, we said we can't do this by ourselves, right? I'm going to have to say, God, I need your help to love this person. I need your help to forgive this person. And I think one way to easily do that is if we're really honest and we start to look at our own lives and our own failures and our shortcomings. We see how many times have we sinned, how many times have we failed, and yet God continues to love me and God continues to love you, and he accepts us and he forgives us. And he has set the example for us about forgiveness. There was this part where Peter came to Jesus, and later on, I think it's in Matthew or Luke maybe, and he said, hey, Jesus, how many times should I forgive somebody who's wronged me? And Peter said like 7 times. You know, that would be a pretty good thing, it seems like, right? If somebody hurt you or messed you up 7 times and you were willing to forgive them, it sounds good. But Jesus said to Peter, not 7 times, Peter, but 7 times 70. And was Jesus really saying you got to forgive somebody 490 times? No. He's saying don't keep count. You just keep forgiving. That all being said, again, this is easy to say, right? It's hard to put forgiveness into practice, but that is what God wants us to do. So just when I have a hard time with somebody, I try to remember, how much has God forgiven me? So much more than I would ever have to forgive somebody else, right? If we're really honest. If we're really honest, with ourselves, God has forgiven us so much. I see my camera is starting to fail, so give me 1 second. I'm going to try to reconnect my camera, but that's going to about wrap us up. Give me 1 second. My camera's kind of lagging here. We've been on for a while. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch over to something here. I'll put our Bible verse back up, and hopefully we can wrap this up. Okay, let me unplug my camera. I'm still here, but my camera is starting to fail a little bit, so I'm going to try to reset it. And hopefully unplugging it and plugging it back in, that will help. But for you guys, for me, I'm going to switch back over. Oh, almost. Hang on. We can fix this. Let's look. Whoops, that's not me. Let's look to see how we can forgive others and allow that that hurt, that anger, whatever is causing us to have that feeling towards others. Let's take it to God and ask God to help us to forgive and help us to heal, right? And that would be the place to start. In doing that, if we can have that love for people, even people who are difficult to love, we'd be fulfilling God's commandment. We would not be murdering, right? So that would be very, very important. Again, I think the outside, the physical part we've got down, but let's work on the heart. God is really interested in the heart. A lot of the time, these religious people in Jesus' times, they were always fixated on the outward things. But Jesus is always looking at the inside, right? And he says the things that are in our heart, on the inside, they're eventually going to come out in our lives. So we want to be right with God on the inside. And the inside part is the part that nobody else sees, but God does see, right? And Jesus knows our hearts. So let's not try to fool ourselves or think we've got it all together. I know I need God's help, right? And I'm sure you probably have the same feeling. And the great thing to know is that God's willing to work with us. He knows none of us is perfect. None of us has it all together, but he's going to help us. All right, that is it for Take Two Tuesday here on July 2nd. No, not in January. It's too hot. It is warming up here. Again, I want you all to enjoy your 4th of July Independence Day. Celebrate that we live in a really wonderful country. We have a lot of freedom and a lot of blessings. So enjoy that with your family. Keep cool. I hope you get to shoot off some crazy, well, if you like to shoot off fireworks, I hope you get to do that. If that's not your thing, then I hope you can avoid it. I know they kind of, on the 4th of July, they all kind of crisscross, right? So let's have a fun holiday. I'll be back next Tuesday. And like I said, we'll be back again with Stephanie's No Makeup Monday and Crafting Corner next week. This weekend, we will have new items on the website. So maybe you picked up some items on the flash sale that just started yesterday, or this weekend you'll have some fun new stuff to look forward to. I think that would be on Saturday night. All right. I hope we had a great, wonderful time. And I hope you enjoyed the presentations, our good news segment, and all that fun stuff. I was happy to be here with you. And I am going to sign off. I'll try to get my little Take Two thing ready to go here. I think I've got it. Have a great day. Again, I enjoyed being with you. If you're in Southern California, save the date. July 15th, that's a Monday. We'll be open from like 9 to 2, the Stamps of Life store. It should be fun. It'll be hot. It'll be crazy. I might have to crank on the air conditioning in here for a little bit. I can handle the heat, but I'm not going to make you guys get all sweaty and gross here at the Stamps of Life store. So we'll cool it down if it's staying hot. All right. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless each and every one of you. I appreciate you. And the top thing is to know that God loves you and God wants to do great things in your life. That's how I feel. And I know that is definitely what we're taught in the Bible. All right. Have a great day. I will see you soon. Maybe. Nope. Not quite. Let's see. Where is my little Take Two Tuesday? Come on. Still. There we go. Bye. Have a great day. See ya.